If you're going to add leather handles to your bag, there's one more step that we need to complete. You need to go ahead and attach the handles to the outside of your bag. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that now. You're going to want to have your bag all the way finished with your construction process. And I would go ahead and press it and make it look nice because the handles can kind of get in the way when you're pressing. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the materials that we're going to use to do this. These are leather belt blanks. They come longer than this. These are 20 inches, but it's going to come on a really long roll, probably 45 or 60 inches long, and it's 1 inch wide. You're going to need to cut these into 20-inch strips. And to do that, it's really easy. You don't need to buy any special tools. What I use is a rotary cutter to cut all of my leather. And I just take one rotary cutter, and I actually with a Sharpie wrote leather on the rotary cutter, and I only use that rotary cutter for leather. And it'll cut right through it easy. You don't have to worry about it. The other thing you need to do is you need to get some 1/4-inch holes punched in your leather. To do that, you've got a few options. You can buy a leather punch tool at the leather store. If any of you were scrapbookers a few years ago, you've got eyelet tools that you can use to punch through leather, and there's a tool called a crop-a-dial that'll punch right through it really easily. If none of those options work, you may be able to get them to punch the hole for you at the leather store. You just need a 1/4-inch hole on each end of the leather strap. The other thing you need is you need some sort of rivet. There's a couple different kinds. These rivets screw together. These are my favorite kind to use if you can find these because they're really sturdy. The other kind of rivet, you need to have a hammer and use a hammer and a little setting tool to set them, and it's very inexpensive. It all comes in one kit, everything that you need, and you'll go ahead and just follow the directions on the package to do that. If you're using a rivet that's not super heavyweight, see, this is like a nice heavy brass rivet. If you're using one of the ones that's a little thinner, this is noted on the pattern, but I wanted to point it out, is you're going to want to use a little piece of plastic canvas, cut a little square or circle of it, and then just feed your rivet through it on the inside of your bag before you set it, and it's just going to act like a washer and keep that rivet from pulling forward to the front of your bag. But if you're using a heavier rivet, you're not going to need that. Okay, so now to place these, it's really simple. You're just going to use your ruler, and you're going to have a marking pen, and you're going to go ahead and place a mark 1.5 inches down from the top of your piping on your bag and 4 inches off center on both sides, like here and here. And you can see that I've actually already got those marked and punched. So you're going to go ahead and mark those, and then to punch the hole, it's really simple. You're just going to take your unpicker and poke it through and kind of get it started, and kind of just like wiggle it around a little bit, and then just take your little sharp snips and just kind of snip some of the extra fabric out, kind of double check it on the other side, and just kind of slowly keep working at it until it's unsnipped. If you notice that your fabric is fraying a little bit more than what you would expect, go ahead and put a little dot of fray check there. I've had that happen once, but not very often. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your rivet, and in this case, like I said, they screw together. And I'm going to take my handle, and I'm just going to push this through here, and then I'm going to feed this through to the other side of the bag. Okay, now this takes a little bit of wrangling, and this, I think the unpicker comes in really handy at this point to, you know, kind of get all these, get that exposed right there, so you can kind of see that coming through right here. I'm going to use this to kind of get all those layers out of the way. I'm going to poke that down so I've got a nice clean surface to work with. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to hand tighten it, and then after I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and go back with the screwdriver and tighten it in all the way. Then just kind of want to get it in there, get it going, twist it in. Okay, then you've got that. And then you're just going to go ahead and repeat that process for the other side of this handle, and then go ahead and do the same thing on the other side of the bag.